You ready?
Yeah.
Mark, set, go.
Hello, America!
We are so happy to be seeing you folks today. We just got back from this awesome, amazing trip where we went to Turkey and Greece and Rome, and we couldn't have done it without your support, so we want to say thank you so much.
Yes, gosh, we want to say thank you. We're still both jet-lagged and still trying to figure out what's up from down, but what a blessing to walk the footsteps of Paul. We met so many folks. We had, obviously the band came, some family came, some super fans came, some new friends came, and it was such a huge blessing to, I believe, everybody that joined us.
It was a spiritual journey. It was a spiritual growth opportunity for me and for Jeremy and for the guys in the band and for the pilgrims who traveled with us. We had such an amazing time.
There's something about walking through the land of the Bible. When you see these places with your eyes, when you walk through and you learn the history, and when you see the places that these books of the Bible were written to, it really does change you.
It really does. And on top of that, you know, the sole purpose of this, the main purpose of this, was to be a blessing to these communities where we were going to visit. And so God opened some doors for us to go into some great places to do ministry, to use our band to connect with churches, to connect with other nonprofit service organizations, and to perform and to be a blessing to them, to encourage them and lift them up, and to just establish some connections that are going to last for eternity.
I got to tell you, it was definitely a thing where God showed up.
Yeah.
Because from the people that supported it to the cost that it costs to do.
Yeah.
I mean, and then the fact that we're planning shows and trips on the other side of the world. It was literally, let's give God this whole thing and let Him work it out the way He wants. And God showed up, and it was so special.
That's right. And God showed up with you before this all began, because He was working in your heart to be a blessing to us, to help make this financially possible. Yeah. So we want to tell you, kind of highlight some of the places where we played. One of the first churches we performed in was called Buka Baptist Church in Izmir, Turkey.
Unlike any Baptist church we'd ever been in before.
It was amazing. They welcomed us with open arms. They had food and hot tea and all these kind of things just to welcome us, kind of in the Turkish tradition. And we went in there with the band and performed, and it was quite an experience. They had some people there from the local army base that came.
Yes, that's right.
And were part of the concert. They were blessed. Some folks from the community who weren't believers but just heard about an American band coming to play. They came in.
People from other churches
found out about it. Came in, and
we rolled into it thinking there was going to be 3 people there.
Right.
But it was absolutely completely packed.
It was great.
We're also worried about the acoustics because it's a very old church. I say old church, 200-something years old. It was 1,000 years younger than every other church we went in.
Exactly. But it's funny. There's a Wikipedia page about this church. You can go and kind of read about Buka Baptist Church in Izmir, Turkey. But it was established back in the early 1800s, and then it kind of changed hands, went around, and it was funny because the family was telling us that there was a time when the Muslims or the government was going to take it over and make it a Muslim a mosque, but because of the way it was built in the shape of a cross, and it wasn't going to work for their so they just let the church take it back. And so in 2000 this group took it, and they've been growing and evangelizing there in Turkey, and that was really
the
amazing.
first time we used the music there, and again God showed up because we had no idea what we're in for.
That's right.
And believers showed up, like Clay said. It was just really special.
Then we went to a place called Kusadasi, Turkey, which was a crazy experience. We were in this outdoor square.
Aristotle Square.
No, Aristotle Square is in Athens. No, Aristotle Square is in Thessaloniki. That's Aristotle Square. This was just, I don't know what the name of the square was.
Oh, I remember that. It's outside the hotel. Yeah.
So we were in this public square in Turkey, in Kusadasi, and same situation. We didn't know who was going to show up. We knew that there were some local believers and some local folks who were going to, come support this public concert. When we got there, they were all the chairs were full. They were sitting there waiting.
First of all, there were chairs.
There were chairs.
I have no idea where the chairs came from. I have no idea who paid for the chairs. But every single chair was full, and then there was another 100 people standing around. It was like, where are we? What just happened?
They were dragging chairs from other hotels and other restaurants and dragging them out into the square. But this crowd was on fire.
Hot
They were a
crowd.
high crowd. They loved us. They cheered for more. We had to do some encores. It was amazing.
Yeah, we probably spent half an hour signing autographs,
Taking
pictures,
selfies.
young people, old
Yes.
people. I mean, it was. Again, it was like, how do these people know we're here?
Right,
how
exactly.
are there? I mean, I don't even know outside just the hand of God. It was, but it was so cool because, like you said, local believers from different churches showed up, and we were able to encourage them. I know we were able to pray for some of them.
Right.
It was pretty special.
And we made a connection there with another local pastor and his wife there in Kusadasi, which, all these connections are just going to lead to more and more good things.
That was extra special because the concert people who put it together for us were like, please don't evangelize, please don't do any of that, because this is Turkey. It's still kind of not cool with that. And somehow, people found out, and again, believers found out, and we were able to encourage them, and that's what we came to do.
That's right. And we just used great American music to connect with these people, and they loved it, and they came out in droves, and we were able to be a blessing there as well. Then we traveled over into Greece, and we went to the Apostolic Church of Christ. No, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. We traveled over into Greece, and we went to Thessaloniki.
Yes.
Thessaloniki.
That
was another big outdoor thing. It was right there by the Aegean Sea, remember, right by the water.
Yeah. Oh gosh,
and there's
so
this
beautiful.
big, huge square.
Yes.
And we performed there for just the passersby who wound up just gathering, in scores out there to listen to us play. And the pastor Tony and his wife were there, and he got up and spoke.
And we knew Tony because Tony was friends with some of our Polish friends, which was a total God thing that we were able to connect on that.
He's actually friends with some folks in Savannah.
Yes, that's right. He knew people in Savannah. It was crazy. So you got to imagine on the water, Aristotle Square, beautiful city around us, hundreds of people lining the streets. And they were just equally as excited.
Yes.
It was pretty great.
Yeah, they were. And Pastor Tony got up toward the end of there was this one fellow who was mentally
it was an odd situation,
unstable, and it got kind of testy for a second. And Tony was able to get with the local law enforcement and kind of manage the situation. But it turned into a great opportunity for him to get up and speak.
It was a perfect sermon illustration.
Yeah, it was.
Of course, he's speaking Greek. It's Greek to us.
It's Greek to me.
But we found out that he was basically sharing the gospel. He was talking about God. He was talking about this poor soul that was struggling in front of everybody. It really became a perfect sermon illustration and something that God worked out that we had no intention of doing. Matter of fact, when it started, I was like, how are we going to navigate this? Is kind of weird. And then Tony got up and the Holy Spirit moved. It was pretty special.
It was really a great night. And I know we'll be going back there again because they were just saying, look, y'all come back and we'll have this place filled with thousands of people, and so we can't turn that down.
Yes, no, we got to go back.
We got to go back there. And then our last concert was in the town of Athens, the city of Athens. We played at the Apostolic Church of Christ, and that was just, a night of worship to encourage ourselves, to encourage those travelers with us, and then hundreds of other believers that came out to listen.
We found out that it was the largest evangelical church of its kind in Athens. And again, it was a total trusting God thing because we had a big outdoor concert planned in a beautiful square with a big PA and a big stage, and all of that fell apart right before the trip because of a permit that they didn't want to give us. And we just said, God, this is yours. I'm literally, because we struggle giving God everything, and Jesus take the reel.
Jesus take the wheel.
But this is a total Cletus take the reel. This is total Jesus take the wheel moment. And for Jeremy, Mr. Control Freak, I literally was not worried on it because I knew I couldn't influence it anyway. And we had ended up connecting with some believers. They lined up it wasn't even their church, and this church welcomed us. There were people from all over town. There were probably 30 beautiful young people that obviously weren't from there. We're like, where are you from? And I think they're from Switzerland.
Yeah.
And they were there actually serving with another church, serving refugees from Iran and from Palestine and all over. And that's why they're in country. And they found out about the show. They came, and we were able to encourage them, play songs and hymns of inspiration. And it was so much fun.
It was a wonderful opportunity just to for our last concert, just to worship and to give God the glory and to be encouraged and be an encouragement. And that's what all this is. It's for us to use our gifts, which we say many times, we can't do much.
Can't do much.
But we can entertain, and we can use our music to be a blessing, and use our music to open doors in places where other people may not be able to open doors, but we can do it because we have a real great band, and we can entertain people.
And just every single time we do it, just God shows up. We
Right.
see amazing things, because like we always say, music opens the door, and it's an immediate pathway to people's heart.
That's right.
And to relationships. So the concerts were amazing. We could spend all day talking about the beautiful churches,
Right.
the biblical history that we walked through. And I know that was so profound for each one of us to walk through, to see these early places in Christendom, to see the place where Paul was martyred,
Right.
where Peter was crucified, where, again, 12, 14 days of this, kind of relentlessly.
Yeah, relentlessly, but
it was pretty special.
It
and
was
remarkable.
drinking from a fire hose a couple of weeks for sure, and we are blessed. And listen, again, we could not have done this if it hadn't been for your support, your giving, your financial generosity, and just knowing that you are investing in the kingdom in powerful ways that you may never even be able to see. We may never be able to see, but we know that you are responsible for this. So thank you so much for blessing Equinox Global Missions.
We couldn't do it without you.
That's right. God bless you.
y'all.
Bye-bye.